welcome to my channel Gardenwood, and it's a lovely day. Happy Republic Day to all of you. Most of you have, I think, long weekend plans, but people like me, I think, some people they just don't plan anything, and I think I have never planned anything. If I go somewhere, it's out of the box. I mean, suddenly plan happens and we go. So that's how things work. But for this weekend, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm staying at my home with my lovely, beautiful plants. And yes, this is my new setup in another room where I thought, why not to set up a place for my uh, plants which are not doing that well. So some of my plants, they are not doing that well. Some are getting propagated, so they are very sensitive to the nature. So what I thought, why not to give them a place where I can control the temperature, I can control few things like watering, temperature, air, so that they get settled down, and they can be more strong to deal with nature. So yeah, sometimes mother nature is very harsh. We all know it is obvious, means mother nature, she is handling so many things, and yeah, I think I get too much taken away with other topics. So today's topic was about fertilizing your Phalaenopsis orchid, which I had made way back that video, but I just forgot to upload that video. So let's go and watch that video. I'm just adding that video in this. Um, but that video I had made almost, I think, 3 months back. 3 months back, I think. So it's the same part what I was explaining about Phalaenopsis orchid. So I had made two parts. If you haven't seen, then please go and watch that orchid basics. Generally I'm talking about only I'm talking about Phalaenopsis orchid over there. What type of pot, what are Phalaenopsis orchid, and how we take care, I mean, how I take care of my Phalaenopsis orchid, and they are doing great. I'm also having few other orchids like Oncidium. So you can see this new bud upcoming. So she was dealing with some, I don't know, bacterial issue or what happened. So if you can see, uh, some of the bulbs, they are not good, and they have just they were mushy, so I had cut down those bulbs, and few bulbs, they are dried away. So now she's doing good, and she has given me this cute little bud. Okay, so what I'm thinking, why not to show my plants over here? They are not that great, but I really wanted to show my gardening friends that gardening is not all about every time you get a perfect thing. So gardening is, it's, we are dealing with the living uh, plants, living things. So they are not always perfect like us. We are not always perfect. So sometimes their health issue get down, sometimes there is so many ups and downs, but I love to handle them with my love and care, and that's what I'm doing here. There are a few new plants as well. Why I have kept it here is to get it settled in my environment, and then I'll just go and put them back in my balcony garden. So let's have a quick um, not tour, it's a very small tour, but quick view of my little setup what I had made today itself. So if you see here, so here I have a big window, and plants here is not looking great, but I'll tell you, I have my tulsi plant here. Why I'm having, I really don't get sunlight in my balcony, as I have said, so I had kept it here in my window. Here in the morning, at least for half an hour, we get some sunlight, so I have kept my tulsi plant here. Now in this pot, there are some rain lilies, and there is a aprajita plant which is coming back after winter. So she was taking rest in the winter. This part will be greener, more greener in upcoming days. Okay, so here I'm just showing you the view. Here I have big window from where natural light comes, and let me put on the lights. And here I have my artificial light setup. I am not a very you know I really don't like too much of artificial light, but sometimes I try to give my plants artificial light as well as some natural light, adding so that they can thrive more. So people who are living in apartments and in homes where there is no sufficient light, they can go for all these artificial lights. These are available in Amazon. I can add that link on my description box. So here, if you will see, this is moss, and I had put multiple cuttings in here, and there is a oncidium bud. This is a cute little phalaenopsis baby, Kiki, which I had separated from another plant. There is another small seedling. That seedling I had bought, and these phalaenopsis are my new phalaenopsis, which you have seen in my previous video. Now this one, this is very special, guys. Let me pull it. Okay, so this phalaenopsis I had, you know, this was a mother plant. This was very big phalaenopsis orchid, which I had lost due to fungal growth. But now she is giving me a kiki. I'll make one another uh, video on this one, because it's really its first time that a dead plant has come and she has given another shoot. And here is my elbow cutting. I had put it. Now here some plants which are not doing great. Now why I had put them in these plastics is to create a humidity environment. So in this bag also there is some African violet plants here, and here is my lemon lime. She is doing great. She was not sick plant, but I really like to give some height and some beautiful lemony color, so I had added her here. And there are some cuttings over here. Now this is my gift which my sister-in-law has given me, home of a crazy plant lady, and I love it. I really love this. Okay, so that's all from today, and let's go and watch that video, give fertilizer to your phalaenopsis orchid. Okay. Hey friends, welcome to Garden Wood. Hope you all are doing great. So today's topic is about what fertilizers I am using on my orchids. So this fertilizer will be covered for all my orchids. I am using the same fertilizer for all types of my orchids. That is, be a dendrobium orchid, phalaenopsis orchid, or any other orchids. Oncidiums, vandas, I am using the same orchid, same fertilizer. So the first thing about fertilizer I want to say is, whenever you are using fertilizer, just keep your whenever you want to water your orchids, keep the tap water for 2 days in a bucket or in any container and leave it for 2 days. Why? Because it might be hard water, and if there are any chemicals, that will evaporate, and you can use that water in your orchids. Now what I do is, whenever I need to water my orchids, and whenever I'm watering my orchids, I'm using liquid fertilizer in uh, that water. So whenever I have to water, for example, I generally water my orchids on Saturday. So I leave water for 2 to 3 days. For almost, I'll collect Wednesday or Thursday. I'll collect the water. I'll put some seaweed fertilizer and a little pinch of Epsom salt and leave it for some time. So these two are the base fertilizer I'm using for my orchids. First one is this seaweed fertilizer. You can use any brand of your choice. You can get this seaweed fertilizer in online shops. So this is the first fertilizer I'm using. Second one is Epsom salt. So here, this is the Epsom salt. I'm using this jar. uh, it's a tea jar, but this is the Epsom salt. You can get in any garden center, or you may get Epsom salt in online shops in Flipkart or in Amazon. So I'm using Epsom salt and seaweed fertilizer. How I am using? In 1 liter of water, I am taking 2 pinch of Epsom salt. That means 1/4 teaspoon of Epsom salt in 1 liter. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of in 1 liter I'm using Epsom salt. Second, seaweed fertilizer, you can take 1 teaspoon in 1 liter. So these two are basic fertilizer which I am using every weekend. Now sometimes I use, no, these are organic fertilizer. These all are organic fertilizer. However, I also use inorganic fertilizer. I'll come to that inorganic fertilizer afterwards. But generally, I don't use inorganic fertilizer to my healthy orchids. I use them for sick or for smaller plants. So this is the rice water. How you can prepare rice water is, just whenever you are washing rice for cooking, collect that water and put it in a bottle. It smells hell. It really smells bad, but I think for these beautiful blooms, I can do that. So you can collect that water, leave that water for 10 to 15 days, and then it's ready to use. You can just use these water. These water you can use for, in 2 liters I am using small teacup, a small teacup in 2 liters. So this is the rice water. You can mix all these three, that means seaweed, Epsom salt, rice water in one go, and you can water your orchids, fertilize your orchids. Second, sometimes I use rice water, sometimes I use banana water. So banana water also I am keeping in these small bottles. So how I am preparing banana water is, just cut small pieces of banana peel, boil them and leave it for 3 to 4 days, and then strain the water, and you can get banana water, and you can use 1 teacup in 2 liters of water. uh, Sometimes I also use tea water or coffee water. It depends on availability. Also, I use eggshells for my orchids. Sometimes I just crush the eggshells and put it in the pot, in the medium. So eggshells, they are rich in calcium, and they are a good fertilizer for your orchid, because in their natural habitat they generally get those eggshells, because birds or any animals, they lay eggs on orchids, and they leave those eggshells in their roots, which provides fertilizer in natural habitat. Um, okay, now coming to the inorganic fertilizer. Inorganic fertilizer you can get in the market is NPK. So always try to get, if you are using, I mean, if you are a organic fertilizer lover like me, then I don't know much about NPK, inorganic fertilizer, but what I use, I can tell you, is whenever my plants they get sick like this. So this orchid has got sunburn uh, about 3 to 4 months in the summer. So when this orchid got sunburn, now I am using inorganic fertilizer. Why so? Because healthy plants like these plants, they can break down the organic fertilizer, and they can extract the nutrients in their roots. But if your orchid or any of your plant is sick, that means they are very weak to break down the nutrients found in organic fertilizer, and they can't and they are unable to extract those nutrients for their further growth. So it's better to use inorganic fertilizer in that conditions. So yeah, exclamation mark, in that conditions it's better to use inorganic fertilizer. I also use inorganic fertilizer. So these baby orchids, they don't have enough of what you call enough of energy to break down the organic matter in the soil, in the medium, or in the fertilizer what I am giving. So it's better to give them a inorganic fertilizer so that they can grow to a healthy plant, and then you can continue giving, then you can just start giving organic fertilizer. It's just the same, I would tell you. It's just like a human being, when babies are very small, they are unable to get nutrients from any food. So if we cannot give them solids or food to them, because they are not capable of uh, extracting the nutrients from those foods. So what we give is either milk and everything, plus what we give is inorganic tonics as well. In time when we give tonics to the people, is when they are not doing well. So if you just think about it, whenever we are not doing well, we are sick, we always take tonics. So those are uh, inorganic forms of nutrients that we take to get better. So that implies to the plants. So that's all. And this is about all choices, your fertilizer choices, about you, about your environment, what goes well with you. I'm just sharing my experience, and my experience is really really good with organic fertilizer. I really support organic fertilizer. So that's it from my side, friends. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.